Hey everyone, the Matt Weinberg here, back again with the Wrestling Burrito. Enjoy this episode. We are back, and it's going to get interesting. So enjoy. Please reach us on Facebook and Instagram at the Wrestling Burrito, and on Twitter it's at Wrestling Burrito, WRASSLIN Burrito, and enjoy the episode. Finally, the Matt Weinberg has graced us with his presence again. Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is your host, the Matt Weinberg. As you've seen on Instagram, the burrito is back. Took a couple weeks off just to sort out some stuff. Coach Jay is in playoffs right now, so he is busy. So I got none other than the Mr. Showtime, the GM of Riot Pro Wrestling, in studio with me tonight. And we're actually going to be in studio for a while together now. Myself and Coach Jay actually offered a contract to the Mr. Showtime to come be a part of the burrito. And you will see or hear the Mr. Showtime a lot more often. So, how you doing, Showtime?
Finally, you guys have given me what I rightfully should have had a long time ago. So, that's okay. But to all of my fans out there listening in Burrito Land, have no fear, Mr. Showtime is here. Thank you, the Matt Weinberg.
I forgot how loud you spoke.
Oh, very loud person. Very, very loud.
So, how's Riot?
Hey, man, Riot has been amazing. So we just got off a show. And, when you talk about what Mr. Showtime brings to Riot Pro Wrestling, Showtime Productions once again makes it amazing and epic, as always. I have to tell you, I had a really good time. JD actually won for once in a match. It's about time. Took him forever. Chico still is champion, as always, as well. If you didn't get to see it, obviously I sat down with Jerry Swirls, and, I answered all of the tough questions that were out there about what happened last time. So, this is what I do. This is what I do, though. Man, this is how I talk. So, anyway, Riot Pro Wrestling is amazing, and that is because Mr. Showtime, once again, puts on the best shows out there. Mr. The Matt Weinberg.
It's true. I was there, so it was absolutely fantastic, and I wish I could tell you more about it, but enjoys NXT. That's what we're going to focus on a little bit, and then we'll swap it up and talk different things. And, he is the people's GM, so
this is true.
He has to look at all the talent available. So when someone fails at NXT, which they inevitably will, he will be there to scoop them up.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't need you to be the superstar of old. I need you just to be the superstar that Mr. Showtime can grow. And I can take talent and make it special. At the end of the day, in NXT, there's too many people there anyway. A lot of those guys don't fit in because they have too much going on at one time. So, instead of them hogging this.
Look at Tanara Conti. Has already asked for her release because she's not being used.
And I don't understand her character at all or where she's going with it.
She's a sexy Latina.
Have
you seen her Instagram?
I've seen her.
That's all that you need to know.
Well, this is true, but the whole tongue moving back and forth before she fights.
But that doesn't matter because they're going to have Scarlett Bordeaux eventually debut, and then any other sexy gimmick is just going to be negated because she is the definition of that gimmick.
That's the problem. The problem is that
her
too many
gimmick
gimmicks.
is sex.
Yeah, a lot of the women talent they try to put as sex though, and that doesn't equate to them. I want to see people hit hard. Like, I don't care. I get the sex appeal, and that's great, but I want to see good wrestling. Like, NXT is about good wrestling.
Well, I mean, look at who your top stars are right now. Rhea Ripley, Shayna Baszler, Charlotte, Becky Lynch.
Yeah, but
they all are fighters
yeah,
first.
It's true. It's very true, which I like.
I mean, I would say that most people would probably only call Becky attractive in that group, but to each their own. And this is not what that's about. This is just talking about that. I mean,
I beg to differ. I'm a Ripley fan personally.
I mean, I'm a Ripley fan.
Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley. Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yeah,
that's what her thing should be. That'd be hilarious.
That would be good. That would be good.
But I mean, all I know is that the Mrs. Weinberg thinks that Charlotte looks like a man with long legs.
No comment.
I mean,
no comment at all.
We're just gonna leave that.
She's an amazing wrestler, though.
Yeah, she's amazing gymnast, and I can't wait to see her and Andrade Cien Almas babies because those are gonna be fucking
then we jump all over the place. Yeah.
Oh shit! I dropped an F-bomb. Shout out Coach J. Fuck the Revival. Speaking of the Revival, actually got to meet Dash Wilder the other day at work.
Really? That's
yeah.
awesome.
He was not in a happy mood, so I kind of left him alone.
Yeah. I seen them. I was at WrestleMania 32, and I went to Access, and I seen them there. I didn't get a chance to talk to them, but yeah, they always look like they're in a bad mood. So I don't know personally.
I mean, not everyone can be as cool as Braun Strowman, because you meet that dude and he just like wants to give you a hug.
That dude's cool. Yeah, that's a really cool dude.
And I did see Elias at an airport one time.
Really?
Yeah.
Was he actually going to do something?
But the funny thing about Elias was I think he actually wears his gimmick.
I can believe that. He looks like that's really him.
I think that's his style. I didn't walk up to him because I saw him in passing.
Yep.
And it didn't click until afterwards. I was like, oh dang, that was Elias. But yeah, he literally wears the scarf and everything like normal clothes, and I was just like, I thought that was cool. Like, they do say the gimmick is you turn up to 11. So
yeah, I imagine that's the same thing though with like a Chris Jericho though. I mean,
if Chris Jericho doesn't wear his jacket,
I'd be sad.
Or that goth makeup all the time, I'd just be upset.
Yeah, that's definitely him.
Yeah,
100% him.
Because his
he does
was it Painmaker? What is it? Painmaker character? Yeah. I think he calls it. That basically is like when you're a 13-year-old girl and you figure out emo for the first time.
I mean, he does it for Fozzy when he does his shows.
True.
I've seen him live. It's the same thing.
Cool. So, you ready to talk about Portland?
Let's do it. It's an awesome show.
Dude, it was awesome. The one thing that I do enjoy about the NXT shows, they start high and then they just elevate and elevate and elevate.
Yep.
There isn't really a low. Like, you would have thought that there would have been a low point in this card, which there really wasn't. I mean, everything just kind of topped each other.
But I think that's really because at the end of the day, if you look at all these events, and I try to do this a lot in Riot, stop overstacking events. Like, you don't need 47 matches in 3 hours. And I think that's what they did. I don't remember how many matches altogether it was, but okay, I was going to say 7. So 6. You did 6 matches. So who would have ever thought a WWE product would do 6 matches? Dude, we get 6 matches in an hour pre-show, So when you look at it, you gave them time to tell a story. And wow, imagine what happens when you put 6 matches on with the best of the matches you can have, and it works.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does. So let's get right into it. First off, we have the Battle of the Big Guys, Clash of the Titans, NXT North American Championship match. The champion Keith Lee defending against Dominik Dijakovic. Keith Lee standing on top of this one.
Yep.
Absolutely phenomenal match. It was really cool to see these big guys go at it. I'd like them to kind of do this a lot more. But, these guys have been fighting even before NXT, so it's really cool that they're going and reinvigorating and reigniting these rivalries that have been outside of the WWE scope for a while. During the NXT Tag Team Championship match, They were talking about how Undisputed Era was a tag team in the faction before even coming to NXT,
Right.
and how they won titles all over the U.S., all over England, all over Japan, stuff like that. So that was really cool to hear about. And they were trying to do the same thing with Dijakovic and Lee. But I don't think that this matchup is worth the North American Championship.
Why do you feel that way?
I feel like this match should be your NXT Championship match.
100%. I'm with you. I think that, but I guess let me take a step back. When you look at this match, you say the North American Championship, I feel like we are all convinced, because of Vince, like I said, convinced because of Vince, that we have to have big dudes, and big dudes have to be a heavyweight championship title, and that's the way it should look. I really feel like the North American Championship has been looked over because it's not that glorified top title.
I don't think it's big dudes having big titles. I think you're trying to separate a main title versus a mid-card title. And these two people don't deserve to be in the mid-card. If you're talking about mid-card people, give it to someone like Bronson Reed, or give it to someone like Kushida, who hasn't done anything since getting beaten up by Walter. Give it to...
That's the problem, though. The North American title is really not a mid-title. I mean, they want it to be one. Personally, I think they should add one more title in. And I think that should be that mid. Like, I don't know where they should be.
I don't think they should add another title in. I think it'll water it down.
You gotta have something, though. Well, I guess it's because you have too many people. So that's the problem you run into, is when you have so many people. Yeah, we don't want to do a whole bunch of titles, but man, what are you gonna do with all these other guys?
Yeah, but I mean, and I don't want to go into what happened at the main event, but like, how many times are we gonna see the same matches for the same title?
That's what I mean. You got nowhere else to go. And then what happens is you move into the main roster with the other 340,000 employees that work at WWE. And then now you're just trying to figure out, how do I keep these people who should be main eventers now in the mid card? And then now you have that Intercontinental Championship that gets watered down because you're trying to find some people to water it down because you don't want to make it over and bigger than the heavyweight title. It just gets muddy in the waters. And I think that they have to do a better job of putting all these people in a hunt and giving them something to do. And even though it's Triple H's baby, it's not working. But
especially because you have these people that don't want to go to the main roster.
Right.
You have these people that will go to the main roster and come back because they see how good NXT has been, and
like Ciampa.
Well, not even like Ciampa, but like Ciampa doesn't want to leave. He's even told WWE he would rather retire than go back up to the main roster. Gargano said that he doesn't want to be on the main roster. Like, Finn Balor came back down, which is the greatest move that he's done because he needed to reinvent himself, because as they actually brought up in their feud, which we'll get to in a second, losing to Bobby Lashley for 18 matches straight really didn't do anything to help his character.
It's because WWE is destroying his character, but we'll get to him.
We'll get into it.
Yeah.
But absolutely great match. Just,
You see the chair spot? Yes. I don't understand why that spot was there, and it was done twice.
It was awesome.
Just so you know. But it was awesome to see him go and do it. But
I mean, the coolest thing was like that kind of modified Spanish fly at the end.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't understand how you're a 270-pound dude lifting a 340-pound dude. What they should have done, if they're building that as Clash of the Titans, that ring should have broken.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome.
But see, Djokovic, though, to me, he's tall, but he's not big. Keith Lee is a big boy.
Well, Keith Lee's a big dude, but Djokovic is taller than Keith Lee.
Right,
but Keith Lee's stout. Like, Keith Lee, he's probably not even 340. He's probably bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because there's strong
like
men and stuff like that that are 6'3", 6'4", 350, and that's a good weight for them. Like, so they're probably... I would probably say Keith Lee's more 350, 360. Mm-hmm. And Dominik Dijakovic, he could be shredded and be 250 based off his height.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So he's probably closer to 280, 300 on that. So you could have definitely had a ring break.
I think it would have been awesome for it, but then it kind of throws off because it was the first match. It kind of throws off everything else going forward. But can I just say one thing? I've seen this a couple of times, and I 100% agree. Or there's two things I'm going to bring up. I'll bring up the second part at the main event because it fits. We talk so much about not being indie wrestling. NXT is starting to become that indie wrestling where you kick out of 47 false finishers. There's 1,000 finishers now that we get out. I mean, Jonathan Kovitz literally popping back up. I get it. They want their clash. But there's just some things that I guess as an old school wrestling fan, I want to see. I don't want to see 14 finishers.
Well, I mean, once you hit your move, it should be over.
Yes.
You know, I can understand if it's a big match and big rivalry and stuff like that, maybe you kick out of it.
One false finish.
But the thing is like, one, we don't need like 6 false finishes, and I agree with that. But a finisher should be protected.
Yeah, there's not protected at all.
You know, how long did it take for someone to kick out a Sweet Chin Music or a Rock Bottom or a Stunner?
Now people do 75 kicks.
Or, yeah, you know, and that's the thing is like, you're talking a DDT used to be a great finisher, and now a DDT is commonplace.
Now, mind you, it is a DDT. I 100% agree that should not be a finisher.
And I understand
anymore.
that. Or,
but, yeah.
You know, how many times did we see Eddie Guerrero hit just a frog splash, essentially, and the match was over, and now people do a frog splash like it's a punch. And
the crazy thing is, we will see a match that goes like 5 minutes, they'll hit a finisher, and it's over, and we're like, that's it? One finisher, and now he doesn't kick out? Nothing against the match. I love the match 100%.
Certain finishers should be protected.
Yep.
You know, but that's
a dude's 11 feet in the air coming down, dude. Like that's a lot.
I mean, like Keith Lee, he's basically slamming what we just talked about, 360 pounds onto you.
That's what I'm saying, like 11 feet in the air. He's like 6 something, right? So then you're putting Djokovic. I don't know how tall he would be when you lift him up, but man, he was up there, and you slam him down, and he rolls over like nothing happened and comes back just to do a spot where then Keith Lee gets out and like there are certain spots I think that
I get adrenaline will take over, stuff like that, but that's we'll actually have, let's say, a bonus episode where we talk about protecting finishers and stuff like that.
For sure.
Because I want to move on to actually my favorite match of the night, which was the Dakota Kai versus Tegan Nox street fight, which was actually my favorite match of the night until the end. I don't think that ending was necessary.
No, it ended sucked.
The ending actually kind of negated the whole entire match. You know, this emotional battle between Kai and Nox, and her coming back and, you know, all that sort of stuff. And you could see Tegan Nox throughout the whole entire match, you know, just wailing on her friend and showing remorse for that, because even though that she screwed her over and she completely injured her and tried to take her out again, she still feels that there's something there in terms of a friendship, because you can't go through what you go through and just kind of forget about it and not mourn it or not do anything.
They told the actual story, man. Like, I thought this was going to be the weakest match on the card. I honestly did think that. I really did not want to pay attention to it at all. I actually started to do other stuff, and it drew me in because, damn, they hit hard. Like, I mean, they let nothing hold them back. And then, again, at the end. And the point is, it's one thing to have somebody that you know has been in the story the entire time come in. It's another thing when I have people with me watching it, and they're like, who is this? What is this about? Where did she come from?
And you can't say, like, if anything that could have happened after it.
Yep.
Like, come in and then she just beats Dakota Kai, or Tegan Nox up.
Yep.
Like, don't have that ruin the match. Like, that was almost a picture-perfect ending, and you completely squashed it.
NXT is where the wrestling should be. They tell great stories in the ring. I want to see hard hitting. I want to be emotionally invested, and I want to get up out of my seat and clap for these damn athletes who did an amazing job, especially when you come into women wrestling. This was one of the best women wrestling matches I've seen. And
I wouldn't be surprised if this is a match of the year candidate.
For sure. And you ruin it with that at the end to do what? Not to add another character. And I get that there's something with it. Why?
You know, and we'll see what happens on NXT tonight. You know, we have about an hour till it's live, but at the end of the day, like, what does this do besides continue this feud-ish when this should have been the culmination of that feud?
Should have been it.
Like, you can move Dakota Kai up, you know, you can move that sort of stuff up. Like, let's say Rhea Ripley beats Charlotte, or let's say Charlotte beats Rhea. What are you gonna have? Io Shirai going against it?
Because
Like, are you gonna have
they
Candice?
don't feel those guys are.
Are you gonna have
top.
Candice LeRae? No, you're not, because you're gonna have Rhea Ripley go up against Charlotte Flair again, vice versa, or they're gonna bring or you're gonna bring another person down from the main roster because you don't think they can hang with her. Which is why it took Shayna Baszler so long to get to the main roster when she was ready over a year ago.
Yep. But now she's there. Then my scare is they're going to destroy her, because now she's not. I mean, Becky's going to be a great one for her, but then after that, she's kind of just stuck again. I mean, she's still very green in a lot of senses.
Only saving grace will be is Ronda coming back.
True, but I don't. That's my problem though. As much as I want to see it,
you don't have the other two ready.
They need to go somewhere else. I don't see them getting ready. I'm sorry.
I think they can get ready, but they haven't even been on NXT TV, and I think it's smart that they move Shayna away.
Yep.
Because then they can focus and be their own people and be their own characters, and then grow that. But you always know in the back of your head, like, hey, they're part of that team. Hey, they're part of that. They're part of that. So you can give them now, let's say 6 months to a year, because you're probably building for a Survivor Series or next year's Mania. Because knowing, like...
So you're going to add an extra person in to make 5-on-5? And who would you do?
Or you do 4-on-4.
I mean, I like the 5-on-5, but who you're going to put over on Ronda's side?
I have an idea for that.
That would be something. I don't like the other two, man.
I have an idea for it, and here's the reason why is... You're eventually going to see a split with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. And seeing as Sonya Deville, her thing is an MMA fighter, she was a cage fighter, then they can go to Team MMA versus Team NXT, and you can bring someone like Mandy Rose to that side, or you can even bring someone like Carmella, who was part of that initial NXT group, and I understand Mandy Rose is only there because Sonya Deville is there, but Mandy Rose came because of Tough Enough.
Yeah.
But
Sonya Deville, though, I'm on Ronda's side. I mean, knowing me training professionally for track for a while and knowing a lot of UFC fighters and stuff and seeing these guys, again, just because you got in a cage once or twice does not make you that. And I'm not dismissing her at all. I just don't know if I put her in the same field as Shayna and Ronda.
I don't either, but you're asking for a 5-on-5, so that's how I assume that we get there.
Unfortunately.
But I think that it would just be a 4-on-4.
I can do a 4-on-4. I still don't like the other two, though.
Leave it as a 4-on-4, but somehow it's either going to be Survivor Series or it's going to be Mania.
It can't be. For the love of God, do not make it Mania.
No, because
Survivor Series works for me.
That should be a main event at Mania.
If you can get the other two up there, right now, you have.
But I'm not talking Mania in like 2 months. I'm talking Mania a year from now.
Some people have it and some people don't, and I just don't think when I seen Sonya, she had it and she's doing well. When you see Ronda, I was nervous, but I knew how good Ronda could be. When you see Shayna has it. These other two, just from when they do their entrance and they start slapping their hands and stuff, it's just not good. It's not good. It's not good. It doesn't look good. I don't know. I don't know what they need to do. I'm rooting for them though, because I really want it to be a great one. I'm all about women's wrestling as well, so I'm rooting for them to do well.
It's all good. So just to finish this up, because I know we didn't talk about it, but Raquel Gonzalez came in and helped Dakota Kai beat Tegan Nox. So we'll be watching NXT in about 45 minutes to figure out what the heck that was about.
What about the botch at the end when she almost killed her on the table? I'm going to need her to learn how to put a person through the table the right way.
I think that was planned.
If it was planned, that was a horrible spot.
Oh, there was...
Because her head, she did not hit well.
Well, it's the same thing at the other end. Ciampa almost died again based off...
Well, we'll get to that because I have something for that one too. Yeah.
So next is you have a dream match versus the original Heart of NXT versus the today's Heart of NXT, Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano coming back from 3 months of injury due to Finn Balor. I was hyped for this match, and as the match went on, I got less and less hyped for it.
I'm going to be honest with you. I know this is not an unpopular opinion. I am a huge Finn Balor fan. I loved him since he came in. I'm not on his hype train anymore.
Well, so now this is going to be a really unpopular opinion. I've been a Finn Balor fan since Prince of It, and I think he's bringing that back. Finn Balor's a much better heel than he ever has been a face.
Yes.
On the other side, I am not a Johnny Gargano fan.
Blasphemy. What? Johnny Wrestling?
I understand this purpose. I understand it.
We're going to kick you off this show. We're going to kick you off.
It's not believable that he wins matches.
Off with your head.
It's fine. I don't care. It's my fucking show, so...
How can you not? Johnny
is in the words of the GOAT, Rob Van Dam, on the whole fucking show.
Dude, Johnny Wrestling is unbelievable. If that's the case, then you can't say Adam Cole can never win. You can't say Ricochet. They're all the same size.
I can say Adam Cole can win.
They're all the same size.
No, they're not.
Adam Cole is small, bro.
Johnny Gargano's like 5'2".
Adam Cole is a French fry higher than him. I've been close enough to both of these guys, and I'm 5'11", and they aren't there. They're not there. So they're both small.
And I don't mean it by his size. Like his size, he's shredded, whatever. What do
you mean by size?
To me, I actually didn't really mean it by size. Like I just meant by like, you can look at Johnny Gargano and you can look at Finn Balor, and you can just tell, like, there's no way that
6'3".
No, but you could just. I'm not talking about size. You can just tell. Why is Johnny Gargano going to win this match? It's not going to happen.
Matt, you're just a hater. At this point, you're just
not.
hating. You're just
fine,
hating.
Whatever, it's
you're
fine.
On it. Johnny Wrestling is shit.
I think Candice LeRae deserves more of a push than Johnny Gargano does.
I have no words for you right now. I just don't. I don't even think Candice LeRae even should be in NXT. I need her to go to Impact or somewhere.
Hot take.
Yeah. All right, keep going.
So going along with that, like, if you actually thought Gargano had a chance at that...
No, there's not if you thought. He does have a chance.
No, and I'm not saying that. Okay, so let's put it real, right?
Yeah.
You're building stories, you're building this, you're building that. Finn Balor came down to NXT to completely reinvent himself and become the badass and the prince and all that sort of stuff again, to probably, hopefully, eventually move him back to the main roster, to eventually get back the Universal title he never lost.
Okay.
Is, I believe, what the end game plan is on this. Build the hype train back up. What does NXT get if Johnny Gargano wins that match?
So I feel different. I feel that Johnny Gargano can lose the match because he won't lose his popularity and who he is. But Finn Balor right now has a lot to prove because he's not popular. Nobody is worried about Finn. And it's not because he can't wrestle, because we all know he can. It's the fact that Finn Balor, to me, since he's been in NXT, has not impressed me at all. He's been boring to me. I think his matches have been boring. To be fair, out of all the Johnny Gargano matches I've seen, this one was probably my least favorite. I just don't see anything special about Finn anymore. And it's not because he's not great. It's because he's just boring. Like, Prince Devitt was different because he had all these different characters. He had even a demon and stuff. They've taken everything from him and made him a normal wrestler. And in this day and age, nobody cares about a normal wrestler.
Well, no, I mean, they need to reinvest in gimmicks and stuff like that, and I think we're seeing that with how amazing the Fiend has become and everything like that. Just like it's literally, and it's funny because I wanted to title this episode this and have a discussion on this at the end of this, but like, there's a reason why it's 2020 and Hulk Hogan is on an episode of SmackDown.
Yeah, that's very sad.
Like, there should be no reason besides people love Hulk Hogan for what Hulk Hogan is, and they're trying to get the Fiend more over. So that's besides the point. We can tabletop that because that is going to be a interesting discussion.
I have words for Hulk Hogan.
I mean, I do too. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So speaking of Rhea Ripley, NXT Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley defeating Bianca Belair. I mean, unfortunately, we all kind of telegraphed this. There's no reason why Charlotte challenges Rhea for WrestleMania without her beating Bianca Belair at the end. But
yeah, it was a great match.
Props to Bianca Belair. I just see her stock rising. I could see her actually getting in that mix, and maybe we see a triple threat after Mania.
She's definitely still super green. The problem I have, this might be, I think this is this might be an unpopular opinion, but I'll say it anyway. Stop making every black girl be ratchet and ghetto. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think that it takes away from who she is. And that puts her in a category, because here's what's going to happen. She's in the same category as Naomi and everybody else, where they get to that spot, and then they make them ghetto and all that, and then then Vince is going to be like, you know what? I can't market this person, although you put her in this situation.
I don't think Bianca is ghetto and ratchet. I think
she's 100% how she acts, how she does everything, and it's a
I think there's some aspects to it, but I think it's more the bougie side of it than anything else. Like, you know, I don't think that's her thing. Like, I think if you're really gonna do it, her last name is Belair. Make her like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Fresh Princess of Bel-Air. Don't do anything like that.
That's what I mean. I mean, my thing is, I don't like her character. I think that there's so much more talent in her, and I think they're pigeonholing her into being a mid-card. Like, they're putting her there. It's the same thing with Naomi. I feel like they're putting Naomi in the same way.
I don't think they're pigeonholing her into a mid-card, because I literally, after that match, the question I had for myself was, has there ever been a black women champion?
Naomi. Oh, you mean NXT?
And actually, let's put it further. Has there been a black champion in NXT?
Did Sasha ever win? I don't remember.
Big E was the second NXT champion ever.
Yeah, and
right?
then look.
So yeah, Sasha did win it eventually. She actually beat Charlotte for it. So, you know, basically you've had Sasha Banks, and that's it.
Yep, pretty much. This is the same thing we always go through. So,
you know, give it a chance. I think she can do it. I mean,
Bianca can 100% do it. It's just the way we think now, and the way they view who can be champion and who's not. I mean, look at the champions, and it has nothing to do with race at all. Just look at the champions and the type of champions you get from WWE. They're all the same. I mean, they really, and if it's somebody who is outrageously different, it's literally that one-off moment, and then they lose it anyway. Or you could be Kofi Kingston, and they throw you a bone, make everybody happy, and then you lose it in like, what,
20 seconds?
Yeah, I was about to say, 20 seconds. So 3 seconds.
So, you know, I believe that Bianca will eventually get there. It's just a matter of time. Because in all honesty, like, they're going to run out of people to where you're going to need to put her in that spot. They're building her up to be a, you know, not to use the word, but like a big man. Like, there's no, like, if you're not going to have her have the Royal Rumble elimination record and not make her unstoppable, just like you would with a Mark Henry or a Braun Strowman or a Keith Lee or Brock Lesnar.
Unless you be a record. They erase people's records all the time.
It's true.
But I do agree with you. She did a really good job. This was a come out for her. She needed to do very well. Mm-hmm. She did very well for it. Definitely. I'm still a Ripley fan. I thought that was an awesome showing from her. She continues to impress me every time I see her as well. Her versus Charlotte is going to be awesome because they're two tough-ass chicks. So I expect it to be tough. I expect it to be good and not, you know, kind of half-ass hitting each other and stuff like that.
So, yeah, absolutely great match. At the end of it, even better, Charlotte comes and attacks Rhea from behind and accepts her challenge for WrestleMania, as we've kind of already alluded to already. But this is going to actually be great. So, moving on to the Tag Team Championship match. I'm actually really, really, truly surprised that the Undisputed Era lost this one.
I'm not. I knew it was going to happen, man. I felt it. I did. But you know what I'm really upset about?
I feel like if they lost it, then Cole should have lost.
Yeah. I'm upset with the entrance and how they started the match. I thought it was trash. I was so hyped for this.
I liked it.
I didn't like it. I felt like it dragged on for a long time.
Well, I mean, you don't need now every single time to go Bobby Fish can fry fish.
Yeah, like I think that was just too much. And then they started fighting up front. I wanted like a big match feel. Like you get them in, you get the entrances, you know, dim the lights. You have this big thing for it. And I felt like they just were like, okay, let's just get to it. Let's just figure it out. And then I don't know what is up with Bobby Fish and like how he was, but I felt like he botched a shit. He was just slow in this match.
Can we just talk about Bobby Fish's facial hair right now?
You see how like how he just dyed it?
Dude,
he
I
went full on.
Like, if I look that half as good as that, like when I'm older, I'll be impressed.
He's not that old though.
He's not that old.
But yeah,
like,
I like the gray.
I like the gray a lot. I definitely think it adds something to him.
He was just slow, man. Like I found myself wanting to just see
he
Kyle.
did kind of come from injury.
Yeah, but I mean he's been doing fine since. I don't know. That match, I just felt like he was off a lot, you know, and between him and Matt Riddle, they had no type of, or like they just weren't together.
I mean, Bobby Fish is 43.
Damn, he is?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, never mind. I mean, that's not old, but he's older than I thought he was going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was going to go like 36. All right, never mind.
That's interesting. So, whatever.
I wanted to see Kyle O'Reilly. That's where I want to see him in the singles. I want to see Kyle O'Reilly be a singles. He can still be an undisputed, but that dude, like that, he's always made me like him, but that showing was awesome.
I think eventually when Roddy and Adam Cole have their split, I think you'll see him maybe take over that spot for Roddy in terms of he's going to go after North America titles, stuff like that. But we'll see. I mean, I think eventually the Undisputed Era will die, and I think it needs to happen sooner than later.
You know, I'm sad, though. I think that they've run their course in NXT. I think it's time to move.
Well, if they move them up, I think it creates a whole entire new thing.
Right.
But
I like the moving
they're
up.
not going to move them up right now, so there's no point to that.
Yeah, they're getting old and stale in NXT. For sure. They're definitely getting old and stale. I need them to do something different.
So, now finally, main event, NXT Championship match. Adam Cole, as we've already alluded to, defeating Tommaso Ciampa. But Ciampa actually was screwed over by none other than Johnny Gargano.
Great match, way too damn long.
It was too long. I did lose a little bit of interest in it. I don't see the reasoning for the run-in. I don't see the reasoning for anything like that. I understand why you have Gargano come in at the end because it sets up their feud again because they never got to finish it. But, like, come on, seriously?
We're back to this again.
We're back. Like I said, NXT cannot move forward until they stop with this. Their top four people just fighting each other the whole entire time. Like it really is annoying and it really sucks. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that wheel that we had for a while of Lesnar, Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, and Roman.
Except for now, if they are setting this up because they're going to be on WrestleMania, I'm okay with that. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen because,
but I'm okay with it.
Well, because they have NXT Takeover Tampa the night before Mania.
Oh, okay, so I haven't seen anything.
They just announced that during NXT.
Gotcha. Okay, now that makes sense because I was like, I haven't heard anything about a Takeover. So
well, it would be interesting to see what they're going to do because they're going to have the NXT Women's title on Mania, but they're not going to have the NXT Men's title on Mania.
Yeah, it's different.
So that's interesting. I could see the tag title and North American title, you know, stuff like that. But they're going to have to really build some interesting feuds.
You think Cole and Balor is next? Do you think that Balor now gets rid of Johnny and we move on? Because he can't go back to Johnny now because Johnny's over with Ciampa.
No, what I think you're going to see is Tommaso. Yeah, I think you can get Finn Balor versus Adam Cole since he did win. And Gargano did kind of screw him over for that title shot. And then you can build Ciampa versus Gargano to now fill another match on that TakeOver card. Because that could be your main event on the TakeOver card. And
I gotta go to that TakeOver. That's gonna be a good one.
Like you can see that. You know, I could even see looking at it right now. With that being said, what that card will probably look like right now in my mind is tag team championship match, North American title championship match, NXT UK championship match, cruiserweight title. So now that's already 4 matches.
Mm-hmm.
Gargano Ciampa could be the main event, so that's 5 matches. You only really need to bring up one other feud, which is probably going to be along the lines of this Dakota Kai Tegan Nox situation, or you're going to continue Velveteen Dream and Roddy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
and bring the Undisputed Era together. Bring Velveteen and
you only need 6 matches.
You only need 6 matches, yes, but they will probably do more than that because it is probably going to be their biggest show of the year.
Depends on how you want to. I mean, I guess it depends on who's left and where.
But it also depends because I would much rather see them do the Cruiserweight Championship match on Takeover versus having it on pre-show.
Yeah, that pre-show, man. Here's the thing.
I think the pre-show should just be pre-show. You shouldn't have matches on it.
I think the pre-show should be an hour long, and it should be with people talking and getting experts and all that kind of stuff. What you want to do, and then you move right into. It should be
like Renee Young's. Whatever that show is on Fox.
Yeah,
Sports
bring
1.
in CM Punk or somebody if you need to, if you can, do that. Bring in Booker T, whoever. Have that show, and then go right into WrestleMania. And for the love of God, do not make WrestleMania 9 hours long. I can understand instead of going 3, making it 5 just because. I mean, if you got to do it, but WrestleMania
if you're going to make WrestleMania that, why don't you just have Takeover be a part of Mania? But you can't because you need to keep NXT separate, and I
think it's too much though, because if you put NXT on there, you have to figure out how to turn and tone those matches down so they don't oversee. Because this is why I am still not a fan of a brand split, because now what you're doing is to me, WrestleMania, it doesn't. I know everybody wants to have storylines, and I get that for everything else. WrestleMania, to me, doesn't have to be a storyline. It can be like Wrestle Kingdom. It can literally be you put the best of the best in a match together, and you let them go at it and tell a story. It shouldn't. I hate this brand split because now I have to be stuck with certain people against certain people for no reason. And it's going to be the same people fighting each other.
Well, WrestleMania should be dream matches. That's why there's been rumors right now we're going to get Styles versus Taker at Mania.
Which I'm still not my style. I mean, it's not my Taker versus my Sting.
Well, Taker, from what I've been reading and from what I've been hearing around, is that Taker asked for Styles because Styles is the new Shawn Michaels, and Taker knows he can have a good match against him, which is cool, which is why Styles called out Taker, and that's why he said he's Mr. WrestleMania.
Which is great. So then can I get Sting, Taker, and Taker retire at Survivor Series? And that be his send-off? He came in?
You could.
Oh, I don't need anything special. I need, for the fans, we need pictures. We need actual proof of these 2 iconic people in the ring together at each other's throat. It can be a 5 to 10 minute brawl. It doesn't even have to be an actual organized match. But give me the entrances, give me the stare down, give me a back and forth, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, it's true.
They're still at a point now where they can make it happen, and it doesn't have to be horrible. I don't need them to carry a crazy match. I just need them to be able to. We need that. We need that. You want to sell some tickets? That's how you sell tickets for WrestleMania.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Because they can't fill a stadium for shit anymore. I'm pretty sure WrestleMania won't be filled either.
No.
It will probably end up on Groupon, like last year's WrestleMania.
Jeez.
Maybe it was on Groupon. You're fucking up when you go to Groupon to sell stuff at a discounted rate.
All right, so with that being said, did you want to get into the topic I brought up beforehand, or do you want to save that?
Let's do that as a special one. Let's do it as one. I feel like you've been gone for a long time. You finally got the Mr. Showtime back on. Now you actually have a lot more because God help me with Coach J. So
the only thing I will say is, have you watched the XFL, because it's fantastic?
I have. I actually watched the XFL. I found myself watching the entire game, and I loved it. And I am a fan, and I'm happy of where it's at. And it's a good damn product.
It's a good
well
product.
Done, Vince. Well done.
It's a good product. I'm hoping that Vince kind of moves slowly towards the XFL, and lets Triple H and Steph and Shane kind of take over, because apparently Shane oversaw the Rumble. And the Rumble is probably one of the best pay-per-views we've had in a while.
I'm happy Shane's around still.
Yeah, but I'm going to leave you with this. Apparently Colin Kaepernick wanted way too much money to join the XFL, and they all told him to piss off. And Tim Tebow is in talks with a couple XFL teams.
I still feel like it's full shit, but, it's still Colin Kaepernick, and he's still the only person in the XFL who has made it to a Super Bowl and should have won. I mean, you've got to give him credit where credit's due.
As a 49er fan crying from this Super Bowl, I am still crying that he didn't win the Super Bowl.
Yep. So, had you had Colin Kaepernick, you actually might have had a chance. But, Jimmy G, nothing against him. He's a solid QB. He is not going to win you a damn Super Bowl.
Ooh. We have some breaking news right now.
Oh, what's going on?
So this is February 19th. Apparently, JBL is going to be admitted into the Hall of Fame this year.
Really? Okay. We're moving up. I mean, I think they're going to have a pretty solid Hall of Fame class as well.
That'll be interesting. So, we'll see.
I'm sure he's going to get booed.
Probably.
But, he in the wrestling sense, he did a lot of good stuff. He was a good character. I liked this character a lot. He kept me entertained. I wouldn't say he's a great wrestler, but he definitely was a part of history of WWE.
Yeah. So that'll be it. Episode 1 of a reinvigorated burrito. Episode 1 of the Mr. Showtime joining the burrito.
I love the name. Sorry, I just had to say that. Every time you say Mr. Showtime is the time I like to say it.
So
you should play my entrance music next time. That would be great. We should put that in here somewhere.
Yeah, we'll figure out how to do that. I'm still waiting on the Wrestling Burrito theme song by Amano.
Really?
Yeah, I'll tell you about that. That's going to be interesting. But I might just have to figure that out on my own.
As long as you put Mr. Showtime in there somewhere. I'm just saying. I think I should be a part of it somehow.
So, with that being said, see y'all in the next episode. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Send this to your mom. Send this to your dad. Send this to the burrito store down the street. They will appreciate it. Any wrestling fan out there will enjoy this. Catch us on Instagram and Facebook at The Wrestling Burrito, and on Twitter at Wrasslin Burrito, WRASSLIN Burrito. And don't forget to follow Mr. Showtime. It is the Mr. Showtime across all social media platforms.
Got that right.
And we'll see you later. Peace.